Oh, g'day guys and welcome back to the Sizzler presented by Jindy Disc Golf Store. We are in the ACT Western Park on Lake Burley Griffin. This is the back 11 of round 2. Big thanks to PRKD Media for sharing this fantastic coverage that was created by PRKD Media. My name is Paddy Robinson and together with Tim Bowen and Andrew Ferguson, we are the Tee Off Podcast. Please look us up wherever you get your podcasts and have a listen.
And leave a 5-star review, why not? That's what we like. We say many thanks to that.
Yeah.
As we have a look at the front 11 results, Zach James with a 1 down for the round. Blakey's cooking, 4 down, and here's outright leader. I'm 1 over par, and Dan Frost 2 over par, so some slow starts for the lead card.
And here we go, hole 12, 205 metre par 4. Off the tee, you're throwing quite a low backhand hyzer. You want to get under this one here and probably a landing zone around about here, and then you're... Yeah, this one's been pushed back, hasn't it, this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit trickier, but I like the change. It's very, very fair. Just got to get under the first bunch of tree canopy. Very tricky one.
I remember it used to being maybe like a driver mid. Now it feels more driver.
A roller's a fantastic option here too if you're gutsy.
This thing,
big rollers out here.
This looks pretty good.
That's perfect from Blake. He's in the backhand approach avenue, which is exactly where he wants to be.
It felt a little early out of the hand, but that thing had a bit of pop to it, and that's sitting in prime.
Zachy James just turning this over a little too much, but he fights through that tree on the right, and that's actually not a bad spot. He's going to have a few trees to contend with and a little bit distance on the approach.
Dan here. This looks pretty nice. It's just got to get under that low canopy, and it does.
Yeah, thought that was skinny.
Kicks through.
Oh, yeah.
Thought that was skinny from Dan, but that's a great result.
Did you see Blake's mum with the what do you call it? The grabber with the sticky ball on the top of it?
There's no good word for that, Paddy. There's no good word for that.
Yeah, I was running that through my mind a couple of times.
Tim, you got a nice one out there.
Yeah, they're all good drives, to be fair. That's the tee shot's the tricky part of this hole.
Is that Dan Frost brother on the back? It looks very much like a Dan Frost with a beard.
Too wide from Zachy. Wanting the hyzer in, but he's yanked that a little bit, and that's one he's let slip.
All right, Tim.
Is this
a flex forehand?
It can't be. Surely not.
Nah.
I'm going the flex forehand, boys,
Jeez.
and you're about to see regrets, Phil, because I yoinked it just straight into the iron leaf there.
Maybe you should practice that shot a bit more.
Do you know how much I was just like, why did you not throw a backhand, you idiot? Because look what Dan's doing.
Speaking of, this
backhand.
one's looking pretty good. Oh, a little bit of late cabbage there, but...
Much more open on that side. I just felt like that forehand was going to go under the basket, but it didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Blake here with the zone.
Oh, get out of it. Are we still enjoying watching the Canberra boys hit trees?
I mean...
There's more of it.
They grease their way through trees so often. I love seeing some trees get slapped.
Should be pretty straightforward up and down. Maybe that's a bit testery.
Yeah, Zachy, look, he's maybe low on confidence a little bit. He was coming to this round the outright leader and he's let that slip.
Tim here. Is this with your MX4?
No, we go the A2 here, and we're happy to see that parked after missing almost a tap-in on the previous hole.
Dan here with about 6 or 7 metres. He's a little bit low and cages it.
Get it up, he says.
Now, Tim, as someone who's not really familiar with my, injections, what's an A2? Is that a mid-range or a putter?
It's an approach. It's I'd say it's similar to the Casterplast yarn or like the Toro zone, but feels a lot better in the hand than the Toro or the zone, if you're asking me.
Yeah, right.
I may be biased, though.
Blake here, showing these boys how to putt, putting that one solidly in the centre for his birdie.
If you don't know your prodigy, though, Paddy, the A series and the A2 in particular, fantastic disc.
There you go.
Zachy boy in for the bogey. I'm tapping in the par, and Dan will also be tapping in the par, which is disappointing after our selection of drives.
Yeah, a bit too testery for Zach there. All right, next up, hole 13. Par 3, 96 metres. It looks dead simple, and then they decided to make it harder by making this an island. We did see a bit of luck go Zach's way in the first round, so let's see if these guys can capitalise and walk away with a bit of a must-get birdie, I think, here.
Look, the 10-metre island on a slope, when I saw it in the caddy book, I was like, you're kidding me, boys? But it's actually not too bad. The ground is fairly grabby out here, so discs were sticking. I didn't see any rollaways. Blake's hanging it out wide with the forehand, and I do prefer the forehand, and he's getting a nice skip.
Oh,
not quite enough, though. Just short of the island. So a rare blemish from Blake.
You prefer the forehand. Mate, look at this thing. It's backhand straight at it all day.
The overhanging branch in front of the basket just knocks down a lot of discs, and
Yeah.
unless you're Dan Frost, you can sneak straight through and just outside the bullseye.
Just like
Great
that.
shot.
All
Yeah,
day.
that low canopy for the backhand, because you're kind of teeing off nose down. It's a tricky one. I'll just go really overstable out to the left.
I'm really like couch. What is it? Oh, Tim.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that was a lamb
that's
shank.
it.
Uncommitted.
Being a true commentator here, I did not play the event, so just put it under the basket.
You're in my boots for once,
Yeah.
Paddy. Welcome.
I
Yeah,
have played
disappointing
this
from you
whole
boys.
a
You're
few
on
times.
high alert. Stop missing these big comps, because the Sizzler should be must attend. Should be one of the first ones you lock in at the start of the year.
Zach
Well,
here
if
with
someone-
the flip up. He's not getting the flip he wants. And
Oh,
that kicked off the
wow.
tree. He
Kicked
got
off the
greasy again.
He certainly has, boys.
wow.
He's kicked off the tree in the middle of the hazard,
Double thumbs up.
and he's straight into C1 for the bird.
Is that fist bump worthy? I don't know. No. You like to see some good luck out there.
That was a bit of good luck, though.
Yeah.
Fair to say. I mean, we hit the same tree, and I'm doing one of the worst upshots you'll ever see
Oh, yeah.
from the middle of the hazard. That was very disappointing.
All right. We're going to see the leapfrog.
Look how close
No.
he got. Oh, it's just not committed there.
So
it's pretty much a death putt from that height.
Yeah.
So it's when you say it's a 10-meter circle, that's 10-meter radius.
Good
So it's
putt,
20-meter circle.
Good.
I'm not too sure, actually.
Okay.
It said 10 metre in the caddy book, I think, but it might be a little bit more generous on the right-hand side there.
Okay. Zach here.
Nevertheless, hitting the first tree and kicking into the circle, you take it any day of the week.
Yep.
Zachy,
Jeez.
unfortunately, maybe a little guilt, a little karma coming back from there, from the lucky break he got, but I think he's just been a little bit off this round.
Do you guys ever struggle with that? Like if you get a good break, you're like, oh, I don't really deserve this.
Get the
I always
guilt.
say it's the sign of an MPO player, is when you capitalise a good MPO player, I should say. Because I tend to give the shot straight back
Yeah.
if I get a good break.
Zach cleans up his par.
Definitely
One
a
birdie.
disappointing effort on my part there. And Blakey just outside the circle. As we have a look at hole 14, 136 metre par 3, there's no real good option here other than to take on this enormous water carry and hopefully find a gap through these trees to the basket that you see
it's-
right here.
A water skip shot all day. I don't know what you're complaining about.
Very, very tricky one. And if you do not make it inbounds, you proceed to the drop zone, which is a fairly difficult amateur tee pad up to the far left there.
I thought for a second then Dan was going to do the no-look drive.
It's gone very low.
A la Hank Terpstra. Shout out to Hank for that.
Oh, I didn't actually know he was skipping off that. There we go.
Unintentional water skip from Dan, and it is a borderline call. Being on the card, I can tell you right now, we gave him inbounds for that one, but it was very, very close.
Because he hit the bank.
He hit the bank, and his disc was in the water resting up against the bank.
Oh, what?
So very, very close.
So Dan is in bounds.
He's in bounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Hopefully the Parks boys will have a good look at it.
Blake here eyeing off a crater on the moon. Is he going to go try and get over that last kind of guardian tree? Is that his play?
Yeah, he plays the ultra spike. He's got the distance, 450 feet here, full hyzer over the water. I can only say Blake's got the distance because I sure as hell don't.
Oh, a bit skinny
okay.
maybe for that height?
He's popped it up, and it is well and truly safe and pushing forward
that's all right.
nicely. He's on the very edge of the circle there.
It's going to be a bit death putty though.
I play this one very safe, just trying to be short and left because I don't want a bar of going to that drop zone, that's for sure.
Is this the, you throw in the bass? Reverb? Treble? What is it? I forget.
It is the reverb.
That's the reverb. Okay, cool.
My most overstable one. I put it out nice and high. If you go short, there's a really nice window. And I went a little bit long of it and hit the tree, but we're in bounds, which is good.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Timmy.
So I'm right up on the shoreline on the trunk. I couldn't have had a more awkward spot, but close enough just to have a nice little tidy forehand. And let's have a look.
Easy
Let's
three,
see if we've
mate.
got a look at where Dan ended up. We've got Zachy first.
Oh, that seemed a little shaky, although he's, what is he, 25?
So look at that one.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah.
fair. No?
But yeah, we called it inbounds.
I mean,
I said it would have been too rude to call that OB when he's all over the routes and things like that. So we gave him an inbounds call.
I mean, it's,
yeah, I think that's the right call.
Yeah.
yeah. If it was a line, sure.
Lucky boy though, Dan, because it was a bit of a lamb shank out of his hand.
And does he capitalise
I tell you
a la
what.
MPO pile and style? And no, he doesn't. Okay.
I was going to say, if that was you, Tim, and I was on that card, I don't know if that call would have been made. But,
I mean, it's personal between us, Paddy.
Considering he's not even wearing a Heiserflight shirt. So, there you go.
Blake.
Loves it.
He's not reeling it in, though.
No, there's no legless, arrows getting out that basket.
Spoke too soon.
I was baiting him.
That was maybe a little bit of Dragon Ball Z action there. I saw him a little bit of Kame action.
As we see a few tap-ins.
No, you're right, Paddy. If that was your disc in that situation, OB, move on.
Quickest call of your life.
Okie dokie, hole 15, 128 metre par 3. You've got a little tight gap to hit off the tee, but then the basket funnels down towards this green here, or the fairway does, down towards the green. Flex forehands.
Around the right tree. Yeah, if you like the flex forehand, there's a good line for that, but it's very long. So drifting a sort of understable fairway or an understable mid's the way to play. Blake's done that very well, but coming up quite short. I don't know if this one's longer than 128, but it feels like a very long hole downhill. Didn't see many drives get there. Actually, I don't think I saw many drives get into C1 at all on this hole.
It's a good looking hole, but maybe that 115 might be a bit more fun.
In the past, this was like a par 4 that was maybe playing on the softer side, so the club's made a good change.
Oh, no.
Zaki, unfortunately, just not hitting that first gap and getting a horrendous kick.
I feel like they've
This one's for you, boys.
Oh, here we go.
Getting flexy with it.
Oh, yes. Has he got the turn on it?
Not quite.
Not quite. I feel like that when they're designing this, they've kind of gone, well, there's a couple of nice trees here. We've got to use them, but we've also got to push the basket close to the water, so...
It's almost like unless you hit early, the water's not really coming into it. Is that fair?
Yeah, that wall of trees is hard to get through, so I let mine out and it was fading straight at the water. Great upshot from Zaki. Gone a little long, but that wall of trees kind of protects you, but I've got a very awkward upshot here.
I'll skip a bit. Yeah, nice, Tim.
Bad.
Blake here wants to go back to back.
Yeah, it had a nice little window there. That spot where Blake was, I saw a guy in the first round have a really difficult time getting up and down because it's really bushy and twiggy there, but not too bad. So Zach needs this comebacker for the par after hitting early. This would be a fantastic par save.
There's concentration there.
A little high once again. He's exactly the same on 13. He's going to do the Luke Bain second crack at it.
A Luke Bain second crack.
Oh, he likes to.
Does he?
Once he misses, Luke Bain is so stunned that he misses a putt that he lines up and is like, "What happened there?" Zaki's just taking a leaf out of his book, I think, as he drops in his bogey. He's happy to sneak that one in for a par. As we see the other boys do the same, tapping in for par, and we'll move on to hole 16.
Alrighty. Hole 16 is a par 4, 187 metres. There's OB on the left, OB bollards, or, you call them bollards.
Copper logs.
Copper logs on the right-hand side, funneling down to this basket. It's a really good hole, this one. You don't have to bite off too much, but if you hit early, it's going to get tough pretty quick.
Yeah, this gap looks fairly scary if you're not hitting your lines at this point in the round. And there's a lot of tight OB on the left. It's really, really, they've tightened things up, the Canberra boys.
That gap looks so much bigger.
It does on camera.
On camera. It's enormous.
Tell you what, I'm pretty good at accidentally going through the Y in that tree, but this is beautiful from Blake.
Delicious.
And that's, got past. Now, I'm not sure how close that OB is.
It's pretty close. You can see those flags there, but he's about 4 or 5 metres away from it. Not too bad.
Lovely.
You can't just blast it as long as you want on this hole too, because those copper logs, as we call them, they come in play very quickly.
Oh, Dan's thrown this shot hundreds of times. Get out of it. There we go.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, loves it. All right, Timmy, what are you throwing here, mate?
Going with the feedback here, just like virtually a Prodigy Thunderbird, for those interval throwers.
Right.
Just drifting out to the right, making sure I don't go distance driver, so I don't go too long, and we're no problems at all up there on the hill.
It's a good spot.
Nice hyzer approach in from that spot. Come on, Zachy. Beautiful looking shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good committed drive after hitting nicking first available on the previous hole.
Oh, that's spot on.
That's great.
That's the best drive of the bunch.
And he needs a birdie. He's bled a few shots over the last few holes, so he'll be wanting this one. Tim, this is leaking a bit to the right, but has it got enough stability?
Oh, yeah.
It has, and apparently the trees just gave me a little bit of a gift there. So I just snuck through on that right-hand side. Those trees often get hit, though, because you need to hang it out and take them on and fade in. It's a bit of a long tunnel here.
Dan with a little turnover putter. Coming up a little bit short, catching that exact branches that we're talking about.
Yeah, the one that I went through. Catching the exact same one. Just to make me feel a little bit guilty.
You're MPO, you don't feel guilty. It's fine.
Oh, no, I do. I'm too nice.
I tell you what, this hole has not changed for so long. I think almost since Western got put in.
It's an excellent hole. They have tightened the OB
great spot.
slightly, but
Yeah.
in terms of the actual line, T-pad basket, no change there.
I just love this funneling down to the basket.
Again.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm feeling very guilty at this stage, given
No.
Dan and Blake have thrown the exact same shot and gotten the worst result. But
Zach's got a slightly different angle, so he might not have those same issues, but he's kind of left that a bit skinny and come up short.
as I said, boys, I tend to give these good breaks back, so just hold your breath.
Like
No foreshadowing there.
So it's got a little bit of a C2 look here from Blake, but couldn't really commit to it. And you don't really want to go long on this one because it does taper off behind the basket.
Can we please ask Park Media to do some foreshadowing? That'd be fun. Just having a pause there. Tim talking in the background, perhaps.
Right, eh? That's very hyzery from Dan.
Yeah, what's the game? Is it Tiger Woods PGA Tour when things slow down when you know that you've really cracked onto a good drive? Could we have that?
Disappointing not to be a little closer from where he got that good drive to Zachy Boy.
Ah, there it is. No foreshadowing.
Yeah, I'll stitch you up. Stitch you
No
boys up.
foreshadowing.
We take those. We take those good breaks.
100%.
Mate, the Canberra boys have had so many. It's about time I got one.
Yeah.
As we see what will likely be 3 tap-in pars, and we'll push on to hole 17. Do you like this one, Paddy?
This hole?
This hole?
Yeah, love it, mate.
Fantastic hole.
Yeah.
And Blake, smart boy, not running that one. I think if he had dropped a shot there, he's just bringing the other
sloppy.
players back into the field.
Sloppy.
As we take a peek, hole 17, nice short one this one, only 83 metres, but a very, very tight line. You can go a low forehand that doesn't fade or skip too hard because the water's there on the right-hand side, or a turnover backhand that takes on the tree canopy. Both are good options. Going my straighter reverb here, I like to go higher speed just to keep it really low.
You like a bit of straight reverb, do you, mate?
I do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, didn't leave that low enough, but we fought through,
Yeah.
Yep, that'll play.
and we'll take
It was
that.
Good height out of the hand, good angle.
I'm ideally keeping that a little bit lower, a little bit flatter, just to push straight instead of skipping to the right. But
What's
that
Blakey
was a
doing there?
good
Is he
result.
doing little tacky sack tricks, is he?
Some bag tricks, mate.
Good on
He's got plenty of tricks.
Yeah,
It's
that
trying
was
to
looking
fight
great.
through.
Just hit that last little guardian limb, and Dan will be following this up with another forehand, I imagine. No, I'm stunned. He's going the backhand.
I think if you can commit to this, the backhand shape is just so tasty when you hit it.
He must be throwing very flippy, though, because he started that out of the hand with hyzer.
I think it's a ruby he's throwing there.
Okay.
No, that's like
Really?
That's
It's like a 150 class latitude disc.
Oh, right. Oh, boy, that's a bit nose up from Zachy James. And looks like he's gone into the rough on the right, which is basically the one mistake you don't want to make. And
Does
yeah,
he?
look, he's feeling it at this point.
He needs a whole five.
So he's got a decent break. He didn't go deep into the stuff, but this is a very awkward upshot.
Oh, wow.
yeah,
He's
that's
super early. Oh, that hurts.
This is a very good result. He went over all of the trees.
Some picnickers.
He's taken on a nice family picnic.
I think the Larpers are having a rest. Just.
And unfortunately still out for the bogey or for the par save, and that's very, very long.
So Blake does have a look here, and I mean, he's sitting on 11 down. He's got 5 shots on Zach at the moment, and hitting this one's going to just extend that lead. Oof, not quite.
Getting a little breeze off the water there, I think, makes that C2 bid just that little bit riskier.
Actually, we have seen, Zach is tied for third, and Tim. Oh, Dan.
Oh, there we go.
That's a really good putt from Dan.
It's sitting about 6, so there might be a bit of action happening on the chase card here.
See Dan and I taking the knee on this hole. It's very exposed to the wind, so I think taking the knee just helps you keep the putter nice and flat. So you can sort of spin it at the chains.
Great putt, Tim.
Thanks, boys. We'll take that one.
Yeah, 2 solid back-to-back birdies.
I think at this point in the round, I was actually on the tournament, I was thinking maybe I should putt from a knee 100% of the time.
Back-to-back knees.
I don't think I've missed him from the knee yet. I was just feeling good.
Just nubbed it.
Fortunately, he's got a putt that if it misses, does leave him with quite a comebacker. And double bogey on hole 17 is definitely not what he would have anticipated.
Oh, I've got to stop the bleeding.
Okie dokie, hole 18, 191 metre par 4. You're just throwing something straight off the tee, forehands, backhands, anything that'll get you down nice and straight. And then we're hooking out to the right here. We've got OB that goes around the right hand side of the basket and behind. Nice elevated basket. Good hole, this one.
Good backhand roller line, Tim.
It's a very good backhand roller hole, but
nah.
191 metres, you don't need it though, Paddy.
Look, he just held on to that follow-through for so long. Loved it.
You just need about 100 metres off the box.
It's like if my 4-year-old throws a disc. Keeps holding it on. Steer it down that fairway. Love it.
Beautiful.
Dan, he's going to roller for sure.
We saw him do that in the first round, I think, didn't we?
If you've got a good roller, it is a really good option. It helps to be really close for the approach on this one because they've put a OB, obviously got the path on the right, but there's OB really close to the basket on the left now. Ooh. So getting that extra distance is handy.
He's hit some loose ground there. Did that get a roll or?
We had no idea what happened on the out of the hand there because we lost it entirely, but he has found the OB, unfortunately.
The X-Man. Unfortunate. I wonder if that went straight.
He gave it a lot of airtime.
That was a big sky roller.
Did come down with a lot of cuts, so we were anticipating it cutting off to the left, but I think he did go OB long.
All right, we're going to see another roller here from Blake.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a much better angle.
Too.
You want it to get over fairly vertical and just wrap up nice and quick.
Yeah.
Once you've got it turning over to the right, you're not really going to get over to that path on the right-hand side.
Wow.
That's a fantastic spot. He can have a chipped zone backhand, chipped zone forehand, whatever he wants from that spot.
Zach here. Wanting this one to get over it, but it's not. It's getting stable on him.
This is why I go to forehand just to get away from that OB line. And he's throwing that straight at the beautiful Tara Houston, which is...
He's got a healthy forehand on him too.
Yeah.
Surprised to see him throw the backhand.
I guess it does leave you with a longer approach.
This
It's not the longest hole, though.
No, it's not.
Looking for a skip. Gets it.
Ooh. Nice, Timmy.
Spicy skip there.
Are we going to see 3 from 3? Is this going to be a turkey?
I don't want to foreshadow.
Foreshadow away.
But don't hold your breath.
Zach's let that one out a little bit right. It's going to come up before the OB, but he's left himself a big putt.
Feeling for Zaki at this point in the round. He's just trying to limit the bleeding. He wants to attack the holes, but you can see he's just off his lines a little bit. Dan as well.
That's
the reaction off the tree?
And that needs to wrap.
Oh, yeah.
Lucky wrap. Not a good attempt.
Dan was actually quite, looking at the drive, he's off to the left, so it must have held that cut.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It looked like he had a lot of angle. Blake, very easy upshot there.
Hasn't given himself a chance at the putt either, and he has yoinked that approach shot quite a bit. So now he's got a little tester, and as you can see, this basket is very elevated. Zaki for the par save. Little stepper.
Oof.
Just off the tray. And not a bad bid. He does have OB and a magpie in his line there.
We're seeing a bit more wind here, maybe?
It was one of those weird ones where you're like, you can hear the wind, you can see the wind, but you can't feel it exactly where you are. It's a bit of a strange one.
Oh, no.
And, yep. He's going to blame Jason Wiedner on that one.
I was going to say, you can't tell any wind by the flag.
They're very heavy
it's made
flags.
of concrete. Timmy. No!
Yeah, I'm blaming Jason Wiedner on that one too. The catch cam, he was blowing wind at us and he just smashed our discs down.
I don't care if it's elevated. Get on your knees.
Yeah,
Timmy.
I should have. Nose up from there would have been much smarter play. Yeah, disappointing.
Oh, what? Oh. No.
Dan has made an absolute nightmare out of hole 18. This is one that I probably would have put $100 on Dan taking your birdie on this hole. And, I mean, technically he's taken, two birdies and then one more shot because he got a 7.
Yeah, right. Just gives a wry smile to Blake, who's looking to take 4 shots in a hole.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Cooking.
Oh, mate. That stings a little.
That hurts. This hole is one of the softer par 4s. It's one that you are banking 100%. On getting a birdie on. The elevated basket and the OB maybe adds a little bit, but you still want to birdie it. As we look at hole 19, a much more difficult shot here.
Yeah, 99 metre par 3. I've seen the pin change about 3 or 4 times on this, but they've pushed it a bit longer down in this little nook here. And you'll see a big backhand overturned get up there, but there's OB on the left, there's natural OB on the right.
Oh, it's so hard.
Very tough hole.
You're throwing nose up because you're obviously throwing uphill on the starting part here, and you want it to also then finish nose down and get into that nook there. And if you go too far to the left, you're OB, too far to the right, you're in absolute jail. You'd rather be OB.
This hole just screams in of a Rolo for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a Rolo is not a bad option, but you're going to end up in the pines on the right-hand side more often than not. Forehand is the play, I feel. Trying to get it low and flat and around that big tree. And that was actually...
just a whisker more height.
Oh, that was actually perfect, as you said, Fergs. It needed about 20 centimetres more height, and that would have been gravy.
Zach's gone the inside. It's going to hyzer out, but he's still going to give himself a C2 putt, maybe.
It's not a bad option if you just give yourself a long bit at the basket, going that backhand sort of more stable approach. But you do need to get it quite flippy if you want to get it into the circle.
Keep going.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Get going.
Great shot from Dan Frost.
Good answer.
This is a hard hole, boys. Very, very difficult one.
I think it's just not what we would normally throw, like a line that we would normally throw. So I actually quite like it. I think if you practice this a bit, you'd grow to love it.
I think a hole like this, especially when you've got 22 in the course, why not? You know, what I mean? Have something just one off is a bit different. Don't have 3 or 4 of these.
Yeah.
But just have one that's just really going to test you.
And it does make these approach shots, if you hit early, it does make these approach shots pretty interesting. A little like floaty nose down flex approach shot.
Yeah.
Don't often do that. So
beautiful touch on that approach there, Tim.
Blakey's doing the same. He can probably lead his out a little bit flatter. And good bid.
And still got a little bit of a downhiller look at it. Oh, there's some windows.
I mean, it's kind of a death putt too. If he whiffs it and goes long, he's in those pines with an awful comebacker.
That's a fair play.
And look, taking a 3 in this hole, you may get some strokes on some of the MPO boys, so not a bad bid.
Dan here. Oh, it looked okay of the hand, just a little bit right.
It's where the nose down part actually comes into advantage, eh?
So Blake, and that's a fantastic putt.
Geez.
I don't know if the camera was going to catch it or not, but there was a guy on a motorised unicycle blasting behind Blake as he was putting that one, but he was so locked in he didn't notice. I was looking around like...
I'm sorry, from the knee again?
Yeah, from a knee. You heard me right. A motorised unicycle.
Is it one where it's like the wheel is right down between the leg and they're kind of standing either side of the wheel, or it's like literally a unicycle like...
Mate, I don't know my unicycles. He was sitting on one wheel, zooming around like he was on a Harley Davidson. It was weird, Paddy. There's some weird stuff going down in Canberra. As we take a peek at hole 20, par 4, 190 metres. Fantastic hole, this one. You can throw a spike backhand hyzer off the box, forehand, or you can take on the gap. And then you've got a plethora of options into this basket. Very, very interesting one indeed.
I was going to say, isn't marijuana legal in...
It might be.
Maybe they should change Western Park into a weirdo park.
So when I say you can take a spike hyzer, there's a human spike hyzer and then there's Blake's spike hyzer. He's looking at a different part of the field than us.
Yeah, that's safe.
putting that up into the wind. He's taking on the trees all the way at the backside.
wow.
Beautiful spot.
I mean, if you do catch that tree he flew over, it's jail.
Yeah.
in there.
I want to go about half the distance he did, and I've left it out a little skinny, unfortunately. I
Yep.
caught some of that foliage, and I've come in really, really short, boys.
Oh, that's
Not-
still attackable though.
It's a long way back, and it's not a spot you practice from because I'm so short, but
Oh, straight at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe a little bit of frustration on Zacky's face there. He's taken on the maybe lower percentage gaps.
Dan
This
showing the
one
gap
around.
that he should have hit.
And if you can be tucked away on that left-hand side of this hole, you've got a beautifully open forehand approach into this basket. I think the trickiest part about this basket is it's blind. So I think the locals have got a really good idea of, a lot of the approach spots on this hole. But I've got really no idea exactly where I'm aiming. Makes it very tricky.
Zach just pumping that one through the trees. Still a little bit of work to do to get up and down.
So I'm going a flex D1, my really overstable one here, boys. Hoping
okay.
it loses speed and stalls out at the right moment.
I like it.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
beautiful,
Butter.
Jim.
And I've got absolutely zero clue where I landed.
Yeah,
So I
right.
was very happy to see that one's just outside the bullseye.
Blake eyeing off another epic sky hyzer. Here we go. He's going to spike this one in.
As long as it's got the D.
No, caught up in the trees.
Bit short.
Yeah, caught up. I don't mind the spike play because it is hard to get around that last guardian tree and then sharply fade to the left. So the spike just lets you sort of knife in. But unfortunately, he's coming a bit early there.
It's a bit of jail in there too. You hit one of those limbs early and
Actually, that tree's
you're putting for 4.
that tree is thinned out a lot, actually. So
Yeah.
it's not as jail. It used to be absolute nightmare
Yeah.
fuel if you got stuck in the middle of it. But now, if you're in it, you're probably not going to get a birdie, but you can get out of it very simply.
Zach looking for some ground play here. And yeah, he's got to about 4
Yeah.
metres.
We saw a nice little spike from Dan coming in. Oh, Blake does have a couple of windows. Look at this. Yeah.
Nicely done. I think in prior years you were scooting a disc upside down on the ground from that spot.
Yeah.
It was really thick. So Dan would love this after taking a triple. Fortunately, that looks more committed, but not quite getting the spin behind the putter, I don't think, from my eye. Good save from Zach.
Yeah, solid. And again, this is one that you do want. I think this little string of holes, like if
Absolutely.
you can come out, 2, 3 under through the last 4.
For me,
you'd
you
be
want
pretty
to
happy.
get some green on 18, green on 20, green on 21, and you'd be happy with pars on 19 and 22 for me.
All right, here we go. 304 metre par 5. We've got 21, hole 21 here. Pumping one down through the guts here, and you've kind of got left and right. You've got OB on the left-hand side where the path is. It funnels down here to the right and then hooks up just about here near the car park. OB on the right-hand side again.
It's a bit of a choose-your-own-adventure hole here. Just want to get some big distance off the box and hopefully have a swing. Nothing worse than throwing about 100 metres and then having absolutely no swing.
Yeah, there's those funny little trees here and there that can just get in your run up, and it's like, ugh, now I've got to potentially play this for par.
Yeah.
It hurts.
We did have a bit of a wind too, so I was disappointed to be the windsock on this one. But Blake's read it very nicely, going that really aggressive turnover backhand shot.
Jeez. That clipped a tree as well. It's still going a country mile.
Yep. Beautiful spot.
Is he a bit pinched on the left, or I suppose he can go big spike or something?
This looks nice from Zach.
Yeah.
Blake's got enough distance that he's probably considering eagle on this hole, so that's why he's so aggressive. Not sure exactly what the line is like on the left-hand side there.
Dan opting for... Is that a roller or a sky?
Nah, Sky, that's come out a
Okay.
bit early. Yeah.
Very inside, and that tree saved him a stroke because that was going straight over the road.
All right, Dan, he's got a gap on the left, but he's also got this avenue that is just so... It's just taunting, tempting. But if you're smart, you play to the left. And Danny's smart.
It's got on the roller though, and unfortunately he's caught the tree there and that's been knocked down. So would have liked a little bit more distance off the box here, but we're going to pump a flex forehand down.
Yep. Oh, Tim.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a bit
very,
unfortunate.
very annoyed to be on the tree trunk there because the way I play this one is just throw 3 100-meter shots and hopefully have a putt. But it's tough to throw 100 meters when you're stuck on a bloody tree.
I could just see, even in the run-up then, he just kind of ducked a leaf. Just seemed to kind of throw him off a little bit there, unfortunately.
How aggressive is this roller from Dan? This must be the flippiest disc on the planet because he let that out of his hand about 2 meters above the ground.
Go.
That's fantastic.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
It was no higher than like 1 meter to 2 meters off the ground the entire way, and it still turned all the way over, landed with like 45-degree angle of cut, and still got over.
That is a wicked sidearm there from Zach. That just came out at blistering pace.
Don't you think we should see more of it? So here's Blake going for the eagle, the spike hyzer play over the road.
This isn't for eagle. He's playing for position. He's way out.
Unfortunately,
and he's way out of bounds.
Fortunately, it didn't come all the way back in. So a bit of an unforced error from Blake. It's very close too. He got very, very close, but unfortunately did not come back in.
Timmy, this is awkward.
Very awkward, mate. And
we
yoinked that. We did not mean to take on the OB line, but we certainly have. And luckily, we've come back inbounds. I just wanted to throw a forehand, and I get this patent pending awkward thing that I didn't envisage. So happy to get away with one there. So Blake, he went out of bounds so early, he's had to come back, and he's going to take the ultra aggressive line again, hanging it out over OB the entire way. And you can't really play a skip shot because, skipping past the Honda Civic and through the bollards, very low percentage.
We've seen that work in the past.
He's not Dan Frost. But
it's interesting. You've got a forehand line right there.
This point in the round, I was thinking, Blake, you've got a lead. You don't need to be this aggressive. But look at this shot, boys.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay.
Fair dinkum hit the tray.
Risky. Very risky.
Super impressive shot.
Yeah.
Blind the whole way. We couldn't see it. So, unfortunately, Zachy.
That's leaking.
Didn't get the flip up that he wanted on that mid, and it's getting close to the road.
Tim, you're just going to put this under, hey?
Hopefully.
Yeah. All day.
Yeah, A2, boys. I think I was selling you on it before. Very, very handy disc.
I can't wait to see where Dan is after that roller.
I hated that
like
roller out of his
7-8
hand.
meters, isn't it?
I was like, that's way too much
C2.
cut. And let us know in the comments if that was a foot fault, please. Dan loves feedback in the comments, so please.
That's where we do find out these things.
That's absolutely
where
right.
the truth lies.
Yep.
In the comments.
If I had have been able to read the comments while I was playing, I would have seconded the foot fault call. It's happening in our pars. And Blakey, after that stroke and distance OB, he still takes a par.
Yeah. Wow.
Very impressive.
All right. Our final hole, par 3, 118 metres. There's this massive river of hazard running through this. And OB long if you do get there.
And an elevated basket too. So if you go long, make it over the hazard, you've got this really difficult death putt to finish off your round with a bit of a gallery, no less. And it's good to see a gallery out there at an Aussie disc golf event, don't you think, boys?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was enjoying the gallery on the last hole with the no shoes, no problem.
Shout out to Marlon.
And I'm giving him
Tim.
I'm giving him something to watch, boys.
Tim,
a nice 70-meter chip forehand.
That is disgusting. I'm disappointed, mate.
I don't want to borrow this.
I'm so disappointed.
I just think, yes, I can make the carry, but making the carry in a spot where I'm guaranteed a birdie and not just an awkward death putt, I'm just like, it's such a low percentage birdie.
Timothy,
I'll just take a par, mate.
Don't lay up.
Hey, I can still get it in from there. I'll foreshadow. I might get it in.
Jesus. I'll jump in the Inverleigh Dam if you get it in from there, mate.
Dan here, he's going for it through the trees. Or no, just left. Right of the trees. And, yeah.
Just
Beautiful.
high enough. Just high enough.
All day. That's how a man throws Beautiful. Dan designed the hole, I'm sure.
Watch Dan and I get the same score here, buddy. Dan will drop it short just for me.
Jeez, the foreshadowing in this.
Oh, Zachy, it's a little too overstable, but hopefully he can get over there on the left-hand side there and be in bounds, which I think it almost did, but unfortunately not quite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks real happy.
Just, you can
Zachy's
see it
ready.
in his face, can't you?
Yeah. So get me off the course.
I can just see him on a Fawn 20 ad. You can get it.
Yeah.
Not a Fawn 20, sorry. Victorian Bitter. You can get it any old how. He probably needs a Fawn
He's
20
got it
as well. Someone get the man a pie and a beer.
This looks, maybe 7? Oh, that's a little testery, but Blake's been putting pretty well this tourney.
Everyone was telling me to throw backhandy here, and I'm like, yeah, no worries. I'll throw a nice chippy
Oh,
backhand.
am I in the dam? No.
Oh,
That's pretty
Almost
close,
close,
buddy.
almost sticks it.
Yeah.
Gives the crowd a wave, loves it.
Well, I
hey?
think Rigby in the background there went real early and said, it's in! And I got a bit excited.
Zachy doesn't really have the ceiling to challenge this one.
You can see how close he got to the inbound side there, but unfortunately it wasn't to be.
That's a tough back half of the course.
And look at Blake. He played this one for par 2, Paddy, so very smart boy. Doesn't need to be aggressive, and I think it's a good hole. If you need the shot, it's there for the taking, but if you don't, quite often you'll gain strokes just by getting the smart par.
Good putt. Good catch.
And look at the gallows.
Good catch. It was leaking a little right. Dan, come on. Walk off with a 2, mate.
Did Tim foreshadow?
Come on.
He jams it in.
He's in.
There we go.
I saw a few people putt from that spot, and they were putting again with a penalty from the hazard. So good to see Dan avoid that fate. And look, I might have still bogey, Paddy. There's no guarantee.
Get on your knees.
There's no guarantee.
No, he's all right.
And we're in.
You don't miss too many of them, mate.
And the crowd's not, you can't see them, but none of them are clapping my par.
Yeah.
So don't lay up.
Yeah.
We don't do that here in Australia. And Zachy, he'll be happy to see the end of that round, not the round he envisaged, 6 over par. But look, it happens when you're off your game. Western's a difficult track.
Yeah, that snuck up pretty quick on him. He was tied for second there for a while and unfortunately dropped quite a bit.
So we'll take a peek at the round results. Zach, 6 over par. He's in a tie for 8th place. Blake's your outright leader at 12 down with a 6 down round. I shot a 1 down. I'm in 5th place. And Dan Frost, unfortunately, leaking strokes as well.
Look at that. Woo! Austin D'Alessandro with an 11 down, smoking.
He goes 1 over to 11 down. And Lukey Bain in a tie for 2nd place with a tidy 8 down himself. Boys, make sure you come back for round 3 of this fantastic Sizzler coverage. You'll see the front 9 on Gatekeeper, the back 9 on Parked, Where the Tee Off podcast. We'll catch you for the next one.